So then we are back with more understanding from the time of the Second Tabernacle services, where we find then the Aramaic English translation of the word. And this translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Yishmealitic lineage. So then, during the time of the end, we can understand tabernacling and the relation with other nations. And at this particular moment, the word from the Quran, very important understanding, because then the Creator has given then the first son of Ibrahim the leadership of decision making of the time of the end, and this particular son was spoke of many times by the Messiah. But then, because of the strict understanding of tabernacling, unfortunately what the Messiah spoke of the first son was then disregarded. We must understand, find those scripture, and then update the entire understanding. Ever since then, the Creator had the first contact with the first human being, Ibrahim, until the closing of the age. There is a topic, very important understanding from the Yishmealitic lineage, where we find in the Quran. Then we find in Surah, the 22nd chapter, many areas where then you find them being very grateful for what they do as tradespeople. Very important during this time. So then, there is a topic very uncomfortable speaking of, and there is the overboard understandings of the Quran. For instance, there are lots of areas related with relationships of the Yishmealitic lineage, where then they are extremely strict in terms of their own women being mutilated. It is an absolutely disgusting topic. It is absolutely crazy. We can't speak of such evil acts of going around even mutilating their own women because of some sort of pleasure given by the Creator Himself for a special time. And then speaking of this topic worldwide, it is absolutely uncomfortable, but important speaking of, because there is a lot going on with it. The Creator has made then male and female, so then they would be productive. How are they going around mutilating the women? How are they going to do what the Creator told them to do? It is against the Quran. Absolutely should be then halted. And then the people should be more aware of those facts of life, and then be more acquainted with the Holy Quran. Because no part of the Quran explains they should mutilate their women. That's crazy. So then we should find a balance during this time, so then we gather those very important wisdom from the Quran, and then we understand the elder son and the relationship after the Chinese system is implemented. So then we prepare ourselves for what's coming in the future. But it has to have a balance. The Quran already explained, it has to be enlightened with the understanding, so you understand then the content. As then, for instance, in the Quran, you find then in Surah, the 22nd chapter, Al-Hajj, many of the verses related with themselves being thankful for what the Creator has given them. Also, their wives, part of it, isn't it? And then what are they doing with the gift that the Creator has given them? Are they going to cut them in pieces? They are not very straight-minded. Then should evaluate what the Quran has taught us, so then we understand properly. Obviously, those people who are involved in mutilation, they are not very bright, or they are not very smart. How can they say they understand the Quran, they understand the 22nd chapter of Surah Al-Hajj, being grateful for what then the Creator has given them, and then they turn around, they take the gift that then the Creator has given them, and then they cut them to pieces? Are they for the Quran or against the Quran? Those who are doing mutilation are against the Quran. They should be hanged. So in order to avoid then hanging, let's not mutilate, huh? It's kind of obvious. So they should explore more of these areas, because there's a lot of these going on worldwide. Because the Quran always taught us, be grateful for what the Creator has given you. So then, being grateful, we find many areas of then the Quran explaining of the tradespeople doing trade, bringing them on camels, and then having a section of their earnings related with thanksgiving. So then they are very grateful for the Creator has given them straightforward in the future, as the Messiah pointed out. He did. As any other factors, such as the temple, such as then Yohanan and Daniel linked up with the system. There are areas of the spring feast related with the elder son the Messiah spoke of, but those were not recorded. But related with the time of the end, as we understand the layer from Daniel, understand the layer from Yohanan, and understand the layer from the Messiah. So then, the scriptures are becoming more clearer and clearer as every day people read, they understand, but then they have to be edited. Somebody has to take the time to get the Quran, get the Yishmealitic lineage's writings, then the Yitzhayelic lineage's writings, and then starting from the Quran, every time there is a relation with tabernacling, then branches away and then explains what it meant. Because the Quran speaks of enlightenment. Ibrahim and Ishmael had enlightenment. So this is the way it should be done. The original manuscripts from the Arabic language related with Ibrahim and the Creator. Every time there is a relation with tabernacling of the second son, branches away from and explains what it is. At the end of the works, you're going to have a very beautiful work done. The word is perfection because it comes from the Creator. It's the only perfect word we can ever use. The rest of it is simply exact. So then, let's understand from this viewpoint and get busy.